Yeah, I know my worth. Check the net that I got. Next year's gonna double. Labels like damn, Tevin's gonna be trouble. My haters crashing out cause my life ain't a rubble. Damn, I'm still up trying to spit rap shit.
Guys, welcome. It's another one. It's a lot of fun. It's the dragon. It's the quest. It's the less. It's the best. It's the chest. Stop looking at the chest. God damn it! I know Alana's cute. There you go. Anyways, guys, we're doing today more Dragon Master, Major, Mancer, whatever we're calling it. I think I've been calling it multiple different things today. Dragon Mage, Dragon Mancer, Dragon Masturbator. Who cares? Anyways, the third one. We'll probably do a couple of quests today as well. But the third one here is just learning more about dragons and the nature of dragons and whatnot. And what we're talking about today, funnily enough, is the nature, the dark nature of a dragon mancer, of a mage in general, of a magician, you know? And I'll do my whole analogy thing. I'll do my whole, connection, because life is a game, game is a life, and JRPGs, I feel like, are the most congruent video game if you want to really learn how to lock in and ruin your life. Anyways, what we're doing today, we'll do story spoilers first. This first one, it's exploring a couple of parts of the excuse me. The areas in the Raggy Snowfield where you get the Dragonmancer class. We're gonna learn more about Dragonmancy here and discover what these dark monsters are. And the next couple quests we're doing essentially are giving us the the legend, I should say, of Dragonmancy in general, and why, there's these dark dragons around. Essentially, they are people. They're old Dragonmancers, because when the first person was infused with the blood, which we will learn who that is. It's crazy, but I think they just become immortal. But the problem is that all Dragonmancies who take it afterwards are kind of cursed. You need to have a certain kind of body to be able to accept the dragon blood, right? And most can't, but everybody wants to be immortal, right? So because of these people with their giant levels of hubris and idiocy, want the power. Everybody takes the dragon blood. They all, force our wonderful buddy to bleed a little bit for them, and then they all become horrid, disgusting dragon monsters. And then we discover from that, since they're people, well, we can do that same exact thing. And that's the thing, guys. The dark origins of mages or dragons or anyone like that is essentially that we are all destined, if you can, grasp this, to perish. But we're all cursed in some way. But I feel like all the mages are like not doubly cursed, just destined for suffering. We're built for that. We're wired for that kind of bullshit, to be able to dip in and sustain and just thrive in that nature of suffering. So when you take it like this, it seems like, oh my gosh, all dragon mages are just fucking crazy masochists. And you wouldn't be completely wrong. You wouldn't. But yeah, essentially, it's a whole destruction of race, morals, and in general, the attitudes of a lot of people nowadays are quite similar. So I would compare the vocation of a dragon mage to really any kind of creative occupation. And the problem with that is, a lot of people are just being pushed in that direction. It's one of the few occupations with a huge skill ceiling. It's pretty much as high as you can make it. And the skill floor, starts below the ground, because essentially anything you can slap a fucking name on, it can become art. And anyone with a brain has a story to tell, and thus a way to communicate that. Now, the way this whole dragon mage connects, I'd say, with the artist is when you get into flow state, when you understand yourself wholly and entirely, and when you just in general lock in. I feel like that's when you become a dragon. That's when the pet power comes on, and if you use Puff, that's gonna scare some people. That's gonna, enlighten some people maybe. But definitely your enemies will not stand a chance. And so everyone who can do this, everyone who can enter the flow state, yes, you are a Dragonmancer, and yes, you are destined for death. But that's not a bad thing. It just means, you're put on the earth for a reason, and usually that reason has to do something with, the saving, the rescuing of the minds of the youth. Because, well, it's the generation after us, it's what keeps the world spinning, right? I feel like a lot of us are really disenfranchised with the current state of things, and me personally, I just hope that when I'm gone, things get a little bit better. And I don't know, man. I don't know if everybody with this artistic instinct is like that. Now we're gonna see nearing the end of this quest that of course not everybody who has the dragon power is like that. But yeah, I do like this one. I think you may have seen the form a couple of times in this playthrough before, because I have played with a Dragonmancer on another class. I think, I don't know. I can't really remember what I recorded already. But it's pretty cool. Our other little characters here in the quest, not our actual party members, but the story characters for this quest line also have their own unique dragon forms. And yeah, you have your own little dragon thing. What do I think would be really cute in this game? And I don't know if they'll implement this eventually or whatever. But if you could change your dragon form, if you could just get different colors or something, that would be cool. But you kind of always just transform into the big. It looks like the model from the dragon from Dragon Quest XI that you're not supposed to beat at the beginning of the game under the castle. Slight tangent, I did see the video where the guy like grinded for years and years and years, and then he actually beat the dragon at the castle in the first section. When you're running away from him, he's like, "Yeah, fuck that, we're not running. We're not running. I got your bitch ass." That was a really good video. It was a really good video. It's a very long fight, but you can do it. And I love Dragon Quest for reasons like that. Dragon Quest in general was the RPG that taught me that we have choices, but here's the annoying thing about life. Yes, of course we have choices. Yes, of course we have objectives and ways we excel in. But there's always gonna be a good way. There's always gonna be a natural way, and it's always like, oh, well, duh. Of course you're supposed to do it like this. Dragon Quest is such a simple game. It's such a simple concept for a game. It's so like traditional that you kind of just know how to do it. It's kind of just intuitively there, where you wake up and your Dragon Quest bone is just there. It's like flicking your finger up and down. Everybody can do that. Everybody can play Dragon Quest if you've played basically any game, any RPG, especially would easily get you there. But its mechanics like these, along with the freedom that makes this like one of my favorite games. That's what really reminds me of life, especially this MMO reminding me of our meta universe that we're living in 2025, because it is still Dragon Quest, but the options are almost limitless. Now, if the world was actually like Dragon Quest, they would not have the inflation crazy and have you actually be able to earn gold properly, like in this game. But that's beside the point. That's me getting a little angry. And let me calm down. We're getting a little bit too political. But yeah, that's in general what I've noticed about life. It's just the traditional things really will bring us there the easiest way. You're just gonna go through the quest lines and go to a new town and talk to all the NPCs and go see the king and then solve his quest and gain a couple levels and move to the next town. Like it's just natural. It's just how you're supposed to do it. Life, you're supposed to go through life and get a job, and get a girl, and raise some kids, and fatherhood. All this bullshit. It's natural. It's simple. It's traditional. But yeah, there's just a lot more options nowadays, so a lot of people don't choose, the main course. Just like me, I'm not choosing the main course in this game. I'm choosing to do something quite different. I suppose not everybody has 3 characters that they're just only going to recruit. How you're supposed to play this game is, get some friends, get some compadres, perhaps even summon some random people from across the pond, if you will. Not everybody who plays this is American, crazily enough. As a matter of fact, most people who play it aren't, but the thing about that is, it doesn't really matter what you do, especially nowadays. And it's kind of like flip-flop because, you know, now it doesn't really matter what you do. You're just kind of ordained to either succeed or fail. And I know that's really gonna annoy some people, but a lot of our stats are just set at birth. There's not really a huge amount of difference you can go up and down. You know, we're all born with these faces. You're either hot or you're not. And I recognize, you know, as shit as it is to say this, I feel like I am a Chad in an incel body. You know, I'm very Volcel now. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, I get a chance to fuck all the time. I'm saying I get choosing signals a lot. And you know what I do with that? I turn the opposite way and say, get the fuck out of my way. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see you. Even if you look super attractive, even if you look super good. As a matter of fact, nowadays, usually I try to stop myself from even scoping the fact that they're attractive. You know, I don't need that vision in my life. And it's because I see the prize that a lot of people are chasing and seeking and getting. It's just not worth the squeeze. It never has been. It never probably will be. Unless that squeeze is like a light tap. Unless I can squeeze it with 2 fingers, worth it. But most of y'all motherfuckers have me getting 2 hands in that bitch and fucking twisted. And that's like, get like a drop of water out. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, man? What the fuck is going on here? This don't make sense. I need more water. I need you wet as fuck. And that's the thing, guys. You shouldn't have to get all this upkeep and all this shit and all this bullshit to get a woman passionately interested in you. She should just be passionately interested in you, no matter what. You know, if you don't have that, it's just an uphill battle, and I don't know why you would want to fight that. I'm already fighting an uphill battle with myself to not crash out. So I'd rather not bring anybody else into that. I'd rather not leave my emotional baggage everywhere from, you know, people just realizing that I can't give them enough or I'm giving them too much. And then me just cutting off, because it's very easy for me to do that nowadays. It's just like, once I realize I really don't like people, and parasocial relationships kind of work for me. You know, as long as I tone down the gooning, I feel fine. You know, I feel sustained, you know? And as a matter of fact, leveled off gooning, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we still got that goal of March when I don't need it. But leveled off gooning, I'm talking like once a month, once a week, once a whatever the fuck, you know, just not every fucking day. You're fucking, you know, that can help. That can motivate you. That can get the fucking fuel back in your system. And I don't want to fucking goon in women, because that is leaving emotional baggage everywhere like a fucking degenerate. And I'd rather just, you know, do it with myself. There are healthy ways, man. There are healthy ways. You know, slap your dick on the fucking table, man. And realize that you don't need, like, that's a pride thing. That is 110% a pride thing, you know? I'm like, oh, it's so pathetic for me to sit at home gooning the anime girls. I'm like, no, it's not. It's pathetic when you're 35 and you got 8 girls fucking rampaging your funds, destroying your livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be a Corey Kenshin and have all these people crashing out of you for no reason. You know, oh, I'm successful, and years later I was a goon. Nah, man, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And that's the thing, man. Somebody will definitely let you know when it is worth it. You know, these girls are not stupid, just like us. We're not stupid. You know, people recognize your value. That's what I'm saying, man. People send me choosing signals when I step outside all the fucking time. People realize my value, and I'm sorry, man. If you're one of those guys that just people don't send that to you, don't do some random crash out bullshit trying to make it happen, because it never will. Probably never will. Even if you get fit or you know, change up your money or do you whatever, you're still that same person. And I've often noticed that a lot of these people who get, you know, looked over, ignored or whatever, when they do get fit and when they do start getting noticed, it's not what they wanted. It's not that good shit. You know, usually you get noticed by the people you don't want to get noticed by. Strangely enough. You know, you get the notifications that you don't want to see, that, you know, that trigger you to crash out. And yeah, you don't need that. You don't need that. But it is good, in my opinion, to discover, to uncover, and to truly understand ourselves. So yeah, explore your body. Work out, get in shape, please. Please, for the love of God, get in shape. And guys, it's not a race. For the love of God, it is not a race. If you're fat as fuck, take a walk. That's it. Maybe every time you want to order Postmates, you just take a walk, you know? Just take a walk. You know, order the Postmates and then you take a walk, you know? When you come back home, look at that, it's at my door. Fantastic, fantastic. And it doesn't have to be a long walk. I'm not even giving you a time limit for this fucking walk, man. Walk until you feel tired. I don't care if that's fucking to the couch. And then stop, you know? But that's the thing, guys. Consistency is crazy when it comes to growth. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize this because you tell someone you're doing something consistently and they'll laugh at you. They'll laugh at you. They'll say, that's not enough. They'll say, you're not making progress. They'll say, you're a fucking loser for not already being there. So yeah, man, the dark nature of it is we just gotta fucking shut up, you know? You just gotta fucking shut the fuck up. Nobody really wants to hear it. I know I damn sure don't. I don't want to hear about your progress. I want to hear about how good you're doing. I don't want to hear about how connected you are to God. I don't care. I don't care. And I imagine you guys don't care. I make these videos for me. I make these videos for me so I can sleep. You know? Look the frost fox in there. That's so cute. That's so cute. Okay, so we can jump into this next one. We can jump into this next quest. Because I just feel like moving on into it, you know? I got a little passion in my soul, a little fire in my belly. So we'll jump into the next one. Okay. Here we go. As soon as I am done sleeping. Yes, indeed. But today, we're helping out our other buddy here, Rune. And this quest is basically the one that's gonna let us know what's really happening behind all of this crazy dark dragon nonsense. Like as I explained before, all the dragon mancers are cursed. All the artists are cursed. We have an issue with us that we're just kind of destined to die. No, we're destined to, if you stay in that dragon state for too long, become the dragon. It's just like the Hulk thing, you know? He's like, I'm always angry or whatever the fuck. If you're always in flow, then suddenly you're just always a dragon, and you're always freaking people the fuck out. You're always igniting your enemies. You're always causing antagonistic energy to get attracted to you. And it doesn't mean you're gonna be defeated by it, because the crazy thing about, you know, this whole puff dragon thing is that it's pretty fucking strong. I mean, they're not unbeatable, not unbeatable, of course, but that form is pretty fucking strong. But there's always a way to move with that humble generosity that people love and need. There's always a way to interact with that in an authentic way. You know, hopefully it doesn't cause anybody to crash out over anything and cause you to crash out over anybody else, you know? As Dragon Masters, we have to live a very unreactive life, you know, a very causal, you know, kind of life. Not just jumping on every fucking horse that comes along. Because you gotta realize you have a lot of power. There's so much power in creation. And mindful consumption. Because, you know, how could we create if we didn't, you know, take some stuff in? That's what life really is. It's all alchemy. I feel like that's why dragon mages, you know, have the staff there. You know, that's why they delve in magic and rock. Because, you know, you gotta get stoned. You gotta get stoned, man. You have to basically get deep. Have that deep thought to really alchemize the bullshit in your life. You really do. You really do. And Dragon Mancers are the best at that. You know, they are your rock, essentially. And the earth element is one of my favorite elements. Good genre of music. You know, good genre. Yeah. You agree there? And I'd also say probably one of the best men I know is a rock man. Okay, that was corny. That was corny. I'm sorry. You can exit the video now. I look, I get it. I get it. I know. I'm so corny. I am so corny, but I'm not as corny as I am horny. That's a fact. But yeah, man, that's just the Dragon Mancer way. All they do is alchemize, you know. As from a young age, you know, this Dragon Mancer Ranja was always the one to, you know, help, assist, And that's just because, you know, of course, the whole immortal thing. That has something to do with it. But also, you know, there's a responsibility from just the power that they feel like they've received. You know, everybody feels like they have a divine gift. Maybe not everybody. Yeah, I suppose there are some people that feel like, I don't have shit. It was me at one point. At one point. Until I decided, hey man, fuck this shit. I'm creating my own value. You know? I may think I suck right now, but soon I'll be able to deep throat. And then we'll be we'll be fighting with the rest of them, maybe. Grapefruit technique is within my grasp. Okay, let me chill out. Let us save this dragon. Save this fucking dragon. What we're doing here today. This quest. Demotoad Highlands. I believe this is what is this? God, I forget what that shit is. I think it's in yeah, okay, so it's in gosh, Gatara, I believe. And I always forget because I never go to the Dwaka continent. I never, like, that's like my least favorite continent. It's so funny because that is where my house is. I feel like I put it there because, well, the whole 420 thing. I wanted a 420 house because I'm a horrible drug user. A horrible, vapid, lazy, disgusting, smoky wookie boy. I'm a smoky wookie boy. And of course, I'm really dumb, so I have no idea what this place is at first. So I'm gonna stumble around here, guys. You don't realize by now this is all post commentaries. Oh my goodness, the train of thought was just completely lost from the whole drug paraphernalia thing. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're going to the Demotoad Islands to get essentially we need to get a material. I think it's some sand, some good old rocky stuff because, you know, of course we're the stone motherfuckers, and that's here. So let's go save our dragon boy and collect our things. This is probably one of my least favorite kind of quests. I don't really like just the collection quests. They're a little annoying, but we do still get to explore the wonderful environment of Dragon Quest. Let's get a little gameplay talks in here too. I do enjoy the map in this game. I don't think it would always like this. So one of the updates allowed you to see quest markers. It wasn't like a recent one. I feel like it was like it's like version 3 or 4 or something. And yeah, it's one of those things, man. Old games really did not used to hold your hand like that. And Dragon Quest X really used to be like that. It came out like maybe right after 2012 or so. This is before the Wii U, but like in the middle of the Wii. And yeah, it was pretty archaic in its time. I feel like they were trying to sort of recreate that retro feel with this a little bit, and it's still really held together to this day. But they just have a couple of little modern things that I feel just, you know, bring it up to speed and allow it to just be a more comfy experience. You know, this is a very comfy RPG. You know, this is definitely one of those one-hand RPGs, if you know what I mean. Okay, stop fooling. But yeah, I really do love that fact about this one. It's very, very good on just allowing you to not think too much, and that's the big thing about a lot of video games. I feel like we've kind of not cut out the Dragonmancer vocation in real life, but we've definitely made it very, very hard to class in and less invest skill points and experience into this class, because everything kind of stops you from critically thinking, which is like the whole objective of the mage class. Like, really? Like, you're gonna stop me from critically thinking in this game? But luckily, you know, just like any game, it allows you to think about the more important stuff instead of thinking about everything at once. That's how I like to view it. You know, just speeds things up, just like AI. But for a lot of people, and I hope this isn't you, you know, all these modern gaming conventions allow us to just zone out and coast out and not even realize that, oh shit, I'm playing a video game? It's been 4 hours? Oh wow, I forgot about it. And in old games, so commonly in old games, you really had to lock in. You know, you step into a new town, you have to talk to every NPC. You know, you go to a new area or you see a tutorial, you have to really lock in and understand what the fuck they were doing in that tutorial. And even after it ends, which is gonna be like in 5 seconds in an old game, maybe be like one screen, you know, for the tutorial. You're gonna have to just figure shit out for a long time and be like, I don't know how to do this. There have been a lot of moments in platformers where I would just sit at this one jump for like hours and hours and hours, and I finally make it. And it's mostly because, you know, I was raised on Mega Man. I remember waiting for the bus early in the morning and just being like, oh, fuck. But I could play Mega Man 4 for a little bit, you know? And it wouldn't even be like at the bus stop or anything. I would literally be at home on my computer on an emulator playing Mega Man. And then 15 minutes before the bus was gonna come, I would grab my shit and run. Literally run. Because I had to beat Woodman. Because I had to beat Woodman. You know, in more ways than one. I'm glad back then I wasn't a crazy gooner. You know, it was the early stages of the internet, and I am so scared of what would have happened if, you know, I was born into the Gen Z or just slightly off, you know, of the millennial era. Because having too much internet, I really feel like it fucked a lot of us. It would have fucked me. But luckily, had the opportunity to explore a little bit, get out of my comfort zone, and move to a different town, different state from where I grew up in. Like a lot of millennials, I feel like that's a really, really good option for just discovering what is really out there and how to really grow in this world and communicate. Now, sadly, I don't think that's really an option anymore with the economy. But yeah, I think that growth really changed me a lot. It really brought just more clarity to what I really want to do. And obviously it's not too different from what I was doing back in high school, middle school, college, whatever the fuck, whenever I was back at home. But, you know, taking a step outside of that helps you realize that. It's like the hero's journey. You know, you have to go through all that bullshit to realize, yeah, we got to come back full circle. We actually do. And it's not a bad thing to do that. A lot of people will downplay you and say, oh, what a fucking loser. You came back. You're a bitch. But I feel like I never really left. You know? I feel like this was always something that was in you. You know, this is always something that was around you. You know, you just have to explore. Like I say a lot of times. The world has meted to a crazy amount. Now we have shitloads of options. Perhaps more than we need. But that's my opinion. And because of that, you know, we have to explore at least some of them. You know, it's like the whole grocery store analogy. Back when there were only like 2 options for bread, you would just pick up the fucking bread number 2. Why not? We'll try that today. And now there are 40 options for bread, and sometimes you're just like, fuck it, I don't need bread this time. I don't need bread this time. I'm going crazy. It's been 10 minutes. I can't figure out what bread to get. And so, you know, that's what your fucking 20s is for. You're just browsing bread, essentially. You know, you're bread browsing. And a lot of people take that bread browsing phase way too fucking seriously, man. You know, you're not supposed to really lock in until you really want to. You know, you may be your choice to never lock in. Maybe that is a choice. That you're locking in or not locking in, that's a fucking choice. But yeah, stand on business for sure. Stand on business and really mean what you say, do what you do. I feel like that's more important for guys than girls, but it's gonna help anybody. Truly, heartfully. Because that's how you gain the confidence to be able to do what you actually want, is to just, you know, first you start small and you lock in on what is important to you. You take those steps to do the things that you want to do. Build that courage and authenticity in yourself and in your soul, and then eventually, you know, it's not too hard. It's not too hard to make a decision. It's not too hard to lock in on all 40 breads. You know? But a lot of people don't get that analogy that you're really not losing anything, you know? All the opportunities I'm missing or whatever. And I used to think this about relationships too. I guess we'll talk about girls a little bit. We love talking about women. Wonderful, wonderful people. Don't we love talking about women? Yeah, it's a common thing to think, oh, I have to be a gigolo because, you know, all the variety, all the ice cream flavors, And this is true. You will have a lot less sex. I'm not going to say, you know, like, sex with your one partner is going to be amazing. Yeah, it's going to be, oh, look at that ocean, man. Look at all the possibilities you can do with that one person. It's going to be amazing. The sex will be awesome. No, man. It's not. But I will tell you, that life is not all about the forking, you know? It's not all about that variety. And not only is it unsafe, but it's really unfulfilling, IMO, to just, you know, pork a bunch of shit. It's like in this game, guys, I imagine, you know, relationships and things like that. It's all like casting spells on people, you know, and sex is indeed a spell. But if you've ever played Smash Bros, you know about stale moves. And eventually, when you start using the sex move like 8 million times, it's just gonna get staler. You know, just like when you goon 6 times a day, it just gets stale, and then you're gonna need more goon, and you're gonna need more sex, and then you realize how that's a trap, right? I mean, guys, maybe we'll be able to cure more sex as we go on in life, but ew, I can't say so much for the other gender. I can't say, we're so lucky. And the funny thing is, man, once you have access to all that goon, all that poon, you kind of don't want it as a guy, you know? I don't know. I feel like everybody who can build up to it gets to that level, but I'm gonna be honest, guys. If you're an ugly fuck, you're not building to that level unless you get money, and that's not passion. That's not sexual energy coming to you. That's transactions. So yes, I could buy a lot of poon. Fantastic. You know? There are people in this world that people just want to fuck. Constantly. You know? That's why the porn fucking exists. You know? That's why everybody can't be a porn star. That's why everybody doesn't make it big on OnlyFans. You know? Certain times. Certain groups. And is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Who really cares? Like I said, that's not what life is about, you know? If you don't want it to be. Of course, it's your fucking life. You know, if you want to make your life about sex, or your gender, or your, you know, race, or whatever stupid application to you, sure. What's my life about, though? It's about love, man. It's about love, baby. That is the only thing I focus on. That is my number one. I wake up and I think about it. That's why I goon. I go to sleep and I think about it. That's why I goon. Because I have nowhere, 0 places for that outlet to go right now. And I'm so happy because, you know, like I said, guys, the juice is not worth the squeeze. All the upkeep, all the uptake, you know, I have to do for my body, my funds, my emotional well-being. You know, I am struggling to just keep myself afloat. And I don't want to leave, like I said, emotional baggage all over the place. And I realize this prep phase will probably never end. I just need to understand that, you know, this partnership bullshit, for me, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. I need a pet. I need someone who's just willing to deal with all my bullshit and that I can just take care of and not have to envelop and deal with any of their bullshit. Because I wish there was someone who was as weird and neurosis-like as me, who could just, you know, understand that, hey man, sometimes I want to talk, but most times I'm just here to listen. Most times I'm just here to be parasocial. And I may not even, you know how to solve your problem, but I just kind of want to try. I just kind of want to attempt, you know? I commonly fall in love with people who I just spend time with. Because I have accepted that I'm just love, you know? That's just me. You know, I just attach and latch onto anything around me, you know? That's why I get parasocial very easily, and I don't like to jump too deep into communities because that would sort of ruin the effort, you know? It would ruin the mystery, the fantasy, you know? And give me all these horrible responsibility bullshits that I have to deal with. But responsibility is not what we should run away from, as our master alchemizers would definitely tell me. Responsibility is indeed, you know, the source of a lot of power, but it's the start of like wisdom. Like next generation wisdom. And a lot of times, That wisdom is socially constructed. You know, a lot of people really don't care about fucking facts or critically thinking about them. You know what I mean? It's indicative because all these modern implementations in video games are seen as necessary for some people. People don't care about the wisdom or how smart someone is or someone's thought process, which is really weird because they always be telling us in school you gotta show your work in math class. And real life comes and everybody's like, what? Work? Show your what? What? Bitch! Where are your fucking results? Show your work. Where are the results? Where's the money, bitch? Yeah, I'd say if you find someone who really cares about how the sausage is made, you know, who really, truly, authentically wants to get down to brass tacks about, you know, the underworkings of you and your flow, your alchemy, your dragon form. I know I keep talking about this dragon form thing. It's coming up, guys. It's coming up. All right, we're almost done. I promise you. If you want true love, find someone who wants to figure you out. It may be for nefarious reasons. Who really fucking cares? But be very wary of the people who just want your time and really don't care about your explanation. Now, I'm not saying you have to go and run and try to explain yourself to everyone. Of course not. That's not going to help you. That's not going to assist you in anything. But yeah, I'm a huge listener. I'm a huge fucking listener, man. And I love that. I love just listening, developing, understanding, and just getting people. And I feel like that's where the real love comes from. It's an action. It's not just listening to people. It's like critically thinking about it and coming up with different things that relate to your experience from it, you know? And that's why I really love people, because I still, after all these fucking years, 29 years of life, I still don't get myself. And this is someone who, at a very young age, became Sonder. I remember I was in the car riding home on an airplane ride, and we were just leaving the airport, and I just see all the cars in the airport, and it was just riding away, and I'm just like, holy shit! See the plane flying by, and I'm just like, holy shit! Every car, every plane has a different person with a different experience, a whole different life, a whole different. I'm like fucking 6 or 7 years old thinking this shit, and I'm just like, what is happening in my brain? Like it all doesn't matter. I have like zero stake in this world, and that kind of thought can really scare you. It can really bring you to a different place, spiritually. And it did. I didn't really know what Christianity is or any of that God stuff was to a holy amount at that time. But as I went on, I understand why people like delved into it and worshipped it so much. Because if you have that feeling and you don't have a God with you, ooh. Yeah, well, let's just say I understand how people schizo out pretty easily. Because all in all, man, nothing really matters. You know, it's crazy to think that everybody has not only a similar experience to you, but sometimes the analogy hits so deep in so many different ways that you would never know if you lived a different life. I think this Freaky Friday shit is really funny because honestly, I feel like if I got swapped in another body, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't. Like, would you? You have their brain, you know? You have their soul. You have their will. I don't think I would. I don't think I would. And, you think about this, guys, is you have to realize that nothing is really wrong either, you know? Nothing's really outwardly vicious or outwardly evil in this world, you know? There are just the demons that infest us, you know what I'm saying? Create us, envelop us, and they use our dragon form. I feel like everyone who's done stupid, retarded, evil shit is just horribly misaligned and sometimes encouraged. by other idiots. It takes a fucking nation, a mountain, a group, a collective, to truly fuck us over in a way that we are right now, you know? And a lot of the horrible acts, you know, they really aren't from nowhere. It's all demons. And demon is not like a person or a thing. It's like an entity, you know? And usually it's a culmination of a lot of things. But yeah, I say there's no evil. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of crazy things that are happening nowadays that people are just justifying by saying, oh, fuck these people, we need to kill them. And we probably do. But you really can't just label someone as a completely bad and unreprehensible person, you know? You really can't. The thing is, we're just giving slack to whoever we decide, you know? Whoever is delegated as acceptable now, they're the one, we're gonna exonerate this motherfucker. And now, the way the world has shifted, the way the narrative plays is, you know, we're going to anti-racism race. You know, slavery bad, so every black person that does something evil to a white person, good. But white to black, we're gonna condemn that shit to hell and back, you know? I'm just looking at the thing like the whole stabbing and all this horrible shit that was happening on the subway in good old New York. And you look at what the guy was saying, and you know how he was moving afterwards. Like he did not know what the fuck he was doing. You know, it was like, I got that white girl. It's like, who are you even fucking talking about? Are you fucking radioing to God? Like, what the fuck are you doing, dog? He didn't even know where to go. He's like, what am I doing? Where am I here? And this is a failure of us, honestly. Not even this fucking idiot. Not even this fucking idiot who doesn't deserve to fucking be here. This fucking scum of the earth who decides, hey man, we just stabbing people. Not his fault. In and out of the system multiple times. And guys, it's always these same fucking repeat offenders, you know what I'm saying? If you look for a crazy girl, look for the crazy hair, look for a Karen, you know what they fucking look like. It's the same people, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are all like, oh my goodness, we can't bring a silence back because I'm so crazy too. And that's the thing, guys, we are all crazy. I want a silence back because I totally think I'm crazy. I've been in an asylum before. And if they come back, I'll probably go back in. I'm not mad at that. Honestly, with my experience after I've gotten out this past 5 years, it might be worth it to just get the 3 minutes. Because like I've said multiple times here, you don't want a fucking job. Don't want a fucking job. Don't want a fucking job. I want money. You know what a job really does to you? It breaks you. It makes you think that you have nothing, no worth, no individuality, and the whole introduction period is just a giant humiliation ritual. It's just a giant haze. One of the worst periods of my life was high school. And guess what, motherfucker? It never ended. It never ended. So I'm doing what I did in high school to have fun. I'm disconnecting from everyone, and I am playing video games. Because, yeah, the world's trash, man. Oh, but you're not gonna change that shit overnight. You're not. So as much as we would love something to happen from all this alchemy we're doing, it's not gonna happen like that. And there are things I could do that could probably be more productive than this, but I'm having fun doing this. So, like, why would I do that other shit? Having fun doing this, I qualify it as work, you know? Whatever. You cannot, you know, it's up to you. And I'm just one of those people that has to do something. I have to do something. You know, being unemployed is fun for some people. Being a vol cell is fun for some people. Gooning all day is fun for some people. And I will admit, I took a couple years off. Not gonna say I didn't have fun during those when I was doing all that bullshit, but there just has to be a time when you decide, yep, time to lock in. I'm tired, I'm pissed off, I'm disgusted, and I know I have power. I know it. I realized it. Man. The worries of life will really get us down, though. And I don't mean to get on this loner bullshit pill, but I really do think it is a lot of social media and the way we connect with people nowadays. I really do. Yeah. I don't know if there's a better way to connect. And I think the AI revolution really is happening. And I don't think it'll be a bad thing, personally, you know? I am a fan of my Clinker Overlords. And the reason why I don't think it's going to be a bad thing is because Dragon Mancers, flow makers, lock-iners like me, like, you know, hopefully you, if you've reached this rare YouTube pool, I imagine you're a little bit different. I imagine you're a little bit out of sorts, far from the grain, if you will. The alchemizers, you know, the meek will inherit the earth, but you have to be really authentic about what you want to do and how you're doing it, and show love while you're doing it. That's the one thing that I feel like if anyone could take, you know, from the next generation, from me, it's just put love into everything you do, man. If you do that, you're gonna live a fruitful life. You know, you won't have to worry about happiness or not crashing out over someone, no matter what mental illness you have. And that's just the aid of having good parents. I had someone who's a very, very good guardian for me, who just showed me that, you know, no matter what happens, you can always come in with kindness. You can always come in with love. And that takes a moment to pause and hold yourself and truly feel all those emotions. Because, you know, of course I feel other things other than love. Like, what are you fucking crazy? Of course I do. My most common emotions are hurt, shame, and fear. I'll tell you that right there. I kind of just don't go a day without feeling those. Those are my three mains. You know what I'm saying? But you know what happens if I really feel those and really move through that and take a pause? Then I am able to tap into what I want to. And the love is in me, man. The love is in me. That sounds kind of gay. I am kind of gay, though. So that's So, if it's in me, and I'm a person, I know it's in you. I know it is. We just have to dig a little deeper. It's just like anything, guys. Whenever someone's talking to you, your first reaction or response is probably some kind of insult or some kind of berate or ha ha ha, you fucking loser, or whatever, you know, but you don't have to say that. You know, you could be silent for a split second. Breathe that in, alchemize it, get into your flow, dragon form, and then you say something that maybe has a little love baked into it. And this does take a lot of practice. I will admit, I've been doing this all my whole fucking life, you know? That's why I'm very fun to be around. People love roasting me. I don't really roast back, honestly. I just kind of laugh. I mean, I roast back sometimes if you deserve it, if I have something good, but that's the thing, man. It's all you. It's all yourself. So, my friends, we have a dark dragon nature ahead of us, behind us, with us. I hope you enjoy whatever day I upload this on. Go ahead and subscribe. I love you.
Raps just to be on top, so one day I can kick back, man. My last check, such a flex, had an extra figure on it. I can show you how to get that in. Shorty hit me up on my line, asking when we gonna dine, cause she begging me to hit that in. You already know I'ma hit that in. Yeah, I already know I'ma hit